Well, hello there. What is going on, everyone? We are live. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and a lot of times I would just kind of save a lot of this information for maybe like a morning video, but I'm not doing a morning video tomorrow because tomorrow starts Ministravaganza. I'm going to be doing a lot of streams tomorrow, and I wanted to kind of get the schedule out there, the schedule that I'm going to be streaming, in addition to AMG's schedule, which is up on AMG's website. And we're going to be talking about basically the streams that I'm going to be covering, so the ones that you can watch along with me. And which, because I'm not going to be doing it all day. I mean, they have different people trading off, so I'm going to be hitting probably a couple each day. Also, we've got a big new event that was basically teased today, which we'll find out more about tomorrow. And of course, we've got a bunch of Legion card previews. So we're going to be talking about the Spider Droid previews because these are actually really juicy. So I want to talk about these today. What is going on, everybody that is joining us today? I just figured I would do a live show and kind of talk about all the news because it's just too much for me to break down and do a whole bunch of separate videos and publish them tomorrow. I mean, because we're all going to be consumed with the Ministravaganza tomorrow. So I wanted to kind of talk about that in today's video. So first thing is hunting season. Armada has new content coming tomorrow. Now, I say that because that's the one that's in most need. Granted, this is for all of the games. AMG tweeted this image out saying hunting season. This will be starting tomorrow. And they hashtagged Star Wars Legion, Star Wars X-Wing, and Star Wars Armada. So it is official. AMG has acknowledged Armada. And this is a good thing because it means that they're making good with their promise of continuing to support Armada through organized play. And this is AMG's version of organized play. It's through these kind of events. And they talked a little bit about hunting season and that it wasn't going to change the point cost of any of the games that are being played, but it would have an impact on list building. So we'll have to wait and see what that is tomorrow. If you remember the last event they did, it was a little bit involved and involved some differences into the gameplay. So this one looks like it's going to be just, hey, you know what? My guess is it's probably going to be something a little simpler. Like lists must include bounty hunters, right? So play a game of X-Wing, play a game of Armada, play a game of Legion, and you must use bounty hunters. So that's kind of tricky, right? Because I mean, if you're playing Legion, that means you can only play as the Separatists or the Empire, and so that definitely has a restriction on list building. What's going on, everybody in chat? If you're joining us today, we're talking about the hunting season event, kind of speculating on what this is going to be. It's going to be about list building for all three games. So for Legion, I don't know if it's going to be that every person must have a bounty, or maybe it's just that you must have an operative, or maybe somebody gets bounty hunter, right? Or maybe everybody gets to throw a bounty hunter in there for free. Like maybe Boba Fett can join any faction for purposes of tomorrow's event. Now, a lot of people have also been thinking, hey, wait a second, they've been talking about the underworld. Why bounty hunting? What is bounty hunting going to have to do with everything else that's going on? Well, we do know that the Razor Crest is coming. We do kind of have very strong speculation that there is a criminal underworld theme to the next wave of Legion, which is going to be revealed. So perhaps there are some bounty hunting in that wave. Maybe we'll see Mando. Maybe we'll see Din Djarin show up in Legion. Wouldn't that be amazing? And there's supposed to be another Maul also, so maybe that means we'll see Crimson Dawn or some kind of criminal empire stuff show up in Legion as well. But perhaps more bounty hunters. There's not too many good guy bounty hunters, but we're seeing that for X-Wing and for Legion. So for Armada, there's a lot less in the ways of bounty hunters. If everything was perfect, this would be the perfect time to unveil Wave 11 and be like, oh, here's Jango Fett in this squadron pack, and then plus whatever else is coming too. But But you know, they actually wouldn't. That would be pretty cool if they gave you like a Django Fett card or something like that that you could add to your separatists. You know, that it could be hired by anybody, and maybe you just use one of the existing fire sprays for it. It wouldn't be that hard just to kind of design, you know, a single squadron for Armada. You know, and as something you just use one of the existing fire sprays for. So be pretty cool, you know. But I don't know. Maybe, that would be nice. Is to at least give you something, and maybe it would only be for the one event, or maybe it'd be for future events. I don't know, but I'm not sure. But it is nice that Armada is being included. All three games will have some type of kind of goal of reporting. You know, hey, play some games and report on our website who won, and that's going to. Last time it was. This is going to impact the next round of promos that go out. Of course, we haven't seen alternate art stuff because. Asmodee or AMG or FFG or whoever hasn't officially sponsored any in-person tournaments yet, then of course, it does seem like that's sort of a liability thing with the pandemic still going on right now. And at least here in my home state of Florida, it's more rampant than ever before. So so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, so this is starting tomorrow. Now there has been some criticism of like, well, shoot, guys, you want us to kind of get these games going. Well, it's not easy to schedule games with people on that short of notice, especially on a Thursday, and then sometimes even on a Friday, and Saturday is the end. They're reporting the end results on Saturday, and Saturday might be the first day some people get to actually get a game in, or for a lot of people it's Sunday, at least around here. A lot of people it's Sunday. So what I think realistically is this is just going to be some kind of alternate format event that you can run with your gaming groups, that you can run on your own, that maybe it can be a side event or a narrative type of event that you can run at a convention or something like that. And and that's okay. It's not my cup of tea. I don't usually like the side events or the narrative events. I usually want to play a standard game. For me, organized play is more emphasis on the organized part and less on the play. So I want to play like a tournament level game. It doesn't have to be a whole tournament, but I want to play somebody with the same level of seriousness that I would bring to a tournament game. And that's usually how I prefer to play my games, because I treat like a lot of my games as tournament practice. And I don't mind bringing a silly list sometime, because for me, like, the ultimate dream is to kind of bring something that's off meta, something that people say, oh, that could never win, and to show up and win with it. Because I want to play it hard and serious, but I also want to have fun. And I'd love to have a list that's kind of fun, but also works in the meta, and then kind of turns the meta upside down. That's kind of like my ultimate thing. So I always try to plan for that. I want to play seriously, but I don't mind bringing a list that's fun, because even if I lose, I still want to have a good time doing it. And oh, by the way, wouldn't it be cool if it won also? So that's that's one of the things I really enjoy doing. But for AMG's hunting season event, it's probably going to be a lot like the last one in that it's a side event. It's not going to follow all the normal rules of list building. This one is going to have some kind of change to how you approach list building. So we'll have to wait and see tomorrow. But the good news here is that it includes Legion, Armada, and X-Wing, and all three games. That includes Armada, so that's really good. Let's talk about the schedule. So they're kicking off tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're on the East Coast like me, that's noon. So if you are working tomorrow, you might be able to catch a little bit of this on your lunch break. Now, opening ceremonies is probably when they're going to kind of unveil the event and talk a little bit about that and be like, all right, guys, hey, we're going to do Ministravaganza. Here's what we have to talk about. And boom, here's the rules. It's posted on our website. Play your games and report the rule, like as if we can all just be like, hey, let's meet up and play a game. But I guess they're just counting on people using Tabletop Simulator, which is kind of weird, because it was one of those things that they were always against in the past, and now they've definitely sort of had to embrace. So it's just kind of what it is. Me personally, I'm not a tabletop simulator type person, so I probably will not be. I mean, well, heck, I'm trying to watch all their streams too, and their streams are running like all day long, and so it's like, wait, you want people to watch your streams, but you also want people to be playing these games. So, which is it? I mean, I know realistically, obviously, not everybody's going to watch all of their streams. So, and so that's one of the things that I, it'd be nice. And yeah, so we got some interesting comments in the chat. So if you guys are joining us today, welcome. Thank you for jumping into chat with me. What's going on, Jeff? What's going on, Big Ben? What's going on, Bartholomew the Great, Kaysen, Jacob, Haydenus, Not Cringe, and Raining. I don't know, Raining 90. What's going on, everybody? But yes, so we have got a lot of stuff coming up, starting tomorrow. Now, I will be going live before AMG does, because I want to give you guys, a lot of people see the notifications or see the hey, we're live, it's like the pre-show or something like that is live. So I'll be going live probably around 11:30. I'm going to try and go live a half an hour prior to each event. So this way we can kind of get our predictions in. We can have our pre-conversation. And for those of you who would like to stay on and watch with me, we can have our little watch party. We'll talk about it afterwards. If you want to pull up AMG stream directly in another window, you can do that. Whatever you want to do. I'm just here giving you guys extra options. I know some people, I used to have a harder time because where I used to want to watch I couldn't watch the Twitch streams. I only had access to YouTube for a while. So, and some people just prefer YouTube because YouTube, frankly, you can pause on YouTube Live. So if you have to go to the bathroom or something like that, you can hit pause and then go do that. So that's one of the services that I bring to you guys. So, and of course, I'll be muting the mic and all of that stuff, so you'll be able to hear them. I won't be talking over them. I did that one time, like my first ever, first ever Gen Con, and I went to the big event, the in-flight brief, and I was like talking over it the whole time because I was so excited. I just couldn't just shut up and calm down. And there was a lot of comments like, "Dude, this would be great if you would only shut the heck up." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. I probably should have. I just couldn't wipe that grin off my face. I was so happy." But yeah, we do have some interesting comments, and one of the good points of feedback is it is kind of unfortunate for them to give us the details on the morning of the event is supposed to start, and I definitely think that's very good criticism, and I hope they kind of apply that feedback, and maybe that's something we should tell them in the comments. Like if you want people to be able to set up and run these events, they need more lead time. If you realistically want people to get together and play. And if you're trying to organize some play, you need to schedule it. First off, if it's list building, people need time to build a list. Not everybody can just sit down and just build a list in 5 minutes. I mean, I can do that usually. But even then, I still like to kind of go back and forth, and I like to I prefer to have an hour to kind of think it over and come up with something I'm going to enjoy, and that's something that's going to mechanically work. But some people need a lot more time than that. Some people might spend a whole day or even a weekend trying to work on a list. Some people go back and forth perfecting a list. So, giving you the outline the morning of, and assuming that you're going to have people who are also ready to get games, because not only do you have to schedule a game with somebody that same time, they also need time to build their list as well. So it's just, it's a little unrealistic that I think that they're going to get that many people to actually play these games. And part of me kind of worries that, it might be easier to do like a skirmish game of Legion or a smaller game of X-Wing as opposed to like a full game of Armada. And so it might make Armada look bad, right? Or something like that. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, especially on a Thursday from the chat, Jeff says, especially on a Thursday. I think you're exactly right. It's gonna be really hard to get people to actually play games on a weekday, and it's not a holiday weekend. So it's like a lot of people are working Thursday. Also, a lot of people are working Friday. And of course, I think they know that. I think they're trying to limit the amount of comments they get, related to, hey, can you guys talk more about Armada? I don't know. But I mean, this is just a standard convention kind of timeline, really. It's the same kind of timeline that a lot of Gen Con events tend to happen on. And so they're doing this like the week before. and good for them. So I'm glad we're gonna get some news. I'm thinking there's gonna be more stuff on Friday. So as you can see here, that I have some blocks highlighted in sort of a light blue. I will be covering the opening ceremonies. That's only going to be a half an hour stream. They have it blocked off from 9 to 9:30. So I think that'll be kind of a short, like, good morning, wake up everybody, it's time for Ministravaganza. Let's see what they, if they have any huge major like announcements, like, all right, surprise everybody, guess what, we got you here, but boom, the Rancors are coming to all 3 games, and they're going to be here, later today, or something like that, something crazy. Then maybe they'll announce that during the opening ceremonies. Plus, they'll probably talk about the new live event, and of course, we'll talk about that for a little bit after that stream concludes. I'm not as concerned in the Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. I'm interested, but I can sort of. I need time to kind of decompress and process the Star Wars information, so I'll be paying attention to the Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff, but I won't be live streaming during that, and I'll be kind of doing other things during that time. I will be coming back prior to 2 p.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. Pacific for the Star Wars Legion Into the Underworld stream. This is going to be a big stream, so you won't want to miss this one. This is going to be the big stream that I think is going to show us the future of Legion, and specifically what they mean by Into the Underworld. My money is on a Scum and Villainy wave, and the big question for me is if they're introducing a new faction, if it's going to be Scum and Villainy, how big is this wave going to be? Because we've seen how long it can take for a new faction to feel flushed out and fully caught up. Because the Clone Wars factions are now getting there, but it's still, they still only have 2 core options, so they still don't feel as flushed out as the other factions, right? So, but there's still a lot of things that the other factions need. Like, I still want Kanan and Ezra and Inquisitors. I still want more, Force users in the Galactic Civil War. So, will it be like a mixed wave? Will it be just all one faction wave, or will they even give us all of that? Will they just give us hints? Will they kind of break like a wave up into here's 1 or 2 things? Because I'll say this, they have certainly kind of come into the Lion Rampant leaks. Like, those are no longer a thing, right? If you'll notice, Lion Rampant has not been leaking stuff lately, so they kind of did fix that. They plugged that hole, which is, I mean, it's good, but at the same time, it was like, oh darn, they plugged the leak. Arr, the pirate dolphins are sticking their bottle noses through the holes of the ship and keeping it afloat. I don't even know how that makes any sense. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to be covering that, and that definitely will go after that, and then we'll kind of break for lunch. Well, they'll break for lunch. It'll be probably 3 o'clock, so I'll probably break for dinner after that or something like that. And then that evening at 7 p.m., which, again, if you're watching this somewhere else in the world, this stream started at 8 p.m., so an hour prior to when this stream first started, is the X-Wing panel, and this is the only X-Wing panel we're going to get. As a matter of fact, the only space-related panel, since there's no Armada panels scheduled that we know of, at least. Unless there's some kind of surprise, but let's face it, there probably won't be. And so I'll be going live at a half hour prior to this particular panel, these at 6:30 Eastern or 3:30 Pacific, and we'll be covering we'll be talking about X-Wing. We'll be watching their stream. We expect to see some teaser spoiler stuff for the Razor Crest. Also, they're going to be talking points, and also what you'll be flying in the future. So I don't know if it's going to be just the Razor Crest, or if there will be some hints as to the rumors about one more wave coming over from Fantasy Flight that may have still been in the pipe. I've been hearing more and more rumors about that, so I guess we will see what they have to show us. So so that one's going to be exciting, because there's a lot of potential things that they could do there. Like, will there be another huge epic ship? Again, get all your speculation in. And we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a giveaway every day in Discord. So if you guys aren't already in Discord, you can check that out here. I'll be also doing some giveaways during some of the streams as well. And at the end, we're going to be putting some more up on Patreon, because my patrons are amazing, and so they have early access to battle reports and as well as their own Discord channels and some exclusive access to me. They also have I do giveaways for Patreons as well. Patronesses. Expecto Patreono. I'm not a Harry Potter channel, so forgive me if I get some of these things wrong. Like we do, my family, we do love the wizarding world, though. Kids have loved all the books. But anyway, before I get too far off topic, this is just Friday. I'm going to be posting all this stuff up in Discord as well. And the schedule for Ministravaganza is already up on the AMG's website. But this is just the stuff that I'm going to be covering. And I put the Eastern because they only had Pacific and GMT. So if you're not in like England or, well, if you're in Europe, you probably have a pretty good grasp on what GMT means. But I would wager a lot of Americans might not have that GMT to their local time zone conversion memorized as well. So a lot of stuff in, at least on the East Coast is listed as Eastern and or Central Time, or sometimes Eastern and Pacific. So I don't often see GMT. But of course, I used to use that a lot when I was in the Army. We used to call it Zulu time. But it's like, it's just one of those things. All right, let's move on to Friday. I put some red on my little schedule for Friday. But yeah, there's a lot of empty space on Friday, right? A lot of empty space on Friday, and it makes me think that maybe game number 2 will be announced, because if you look on their schedules, they're going all the way until 7 p.m. Pacific, which is 8, 9, 10, right? 10 p.m. local. I'm not going to be streaming that late at night, but I may be watching along in chat, and stuff like that. So, and then we can chat in Discord, and we can chat in the chat and in there and all that other stuff. So, and Discord is a great way just to stay in touch with the community, to stay in touch with people who are playing all these other games like X-Wing, Armada, Legion, Marvel Crisis Protocol, Drop Fleet Commander, the new hotness right now, right? So, yeah. Phoenix says, did I hear something about Armada at Ministravaganza or at Extravaganza? I think you mean Ministravaganza. Yes, it's this right here, the hunting season global event. It's for all 3 games, X-Wing, Legion, and Armada. Yes, Armada specifically is also included in the hunting season global event that is going to have something to do with list building. That's all we know, and obviously my guess is it's going to be something like you must include a bounty hunter, or maybe you get a free bounty hunter, or maybe everybody gets some new bounty hunting ability, like, hey, you gotta kill the enemy flagship, or something like that. I don't know what it'll be, but I don't think it's going to be something like completely life-changing, but it's still nice to be included, and I'm taking it as a good sign. They didn't leave Armada out of it. I guess we'll have to wait and see, if the other 2 games get some really super cool event and Armada's just like, you must have Boba Fett in your army, and that's it. Then you're like, well, that really didn't take long, so hopefully it's something pretty good, and we'll have to see. I don't think it's something that you're really going to be expected to play a whole lot this weekend, because it takes time to set games up and arrange for those. So it's probably more going to be something that you can use at events as maybe a side type of narrative event. It's kind of my guess. If you thought it was added to a slot somewhere, not currently, no. So we'll see if in their closing stuff, if they kind of say, oh, by the way, we have some extra time on Friday, because Friday has a lot of open time, doesn't it? Look at all this time they have here on Friday. So their early stuff is painting. They're opening Friday morning with painting, and then they get to 11 their time, which is 2 p.m. local. That's when they're going to be doing they're going to be playing a game of Legion. I don't know what that really means, because I think there's going to be more to it. I think whatever we find out the previous day is going to illuminate the stuff that we see here, because boots on the ground, if they're just going to be playing a game, maybe they'll be playing using some new stuff. Or maybe they'll have some new stuff to reveal. Maybe some of the cards that we haven't seen yet. And again, we're going to get to that because we got more Legion cards to talk about here in just a moment. So maybe that will be something that gets shown, that gets revealed, or maybe they'll have more surprises in store. But then, they have this huge break from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. their time, right? And then it jumps into Marvel Crisis Protocol, and then painting some vehicles. So kind of, from the way it looks like there's really not any news on Friday. right? That's kind of how it looks to me. It looks like there's no news on Friday, but there's a lot of empty spaces. If you kind of compare it to Thursday, which it's loaded, right? Like every hour there's something. Friday it's like, hey, we 9, then we have 11. This is an empty space usually because most of their streams are an hour long. Okay, and right here, like they're painting Spider-Man and Doc Ock, so maybe this is just legitimately a 2-hour stream because they're painting 2 characters. Okay, that's fine. And the diorama, I don't think they're going to paint a whole diorama. They might have the diorama kind of base coated or something like that, but I think they'll focus on showing you Spider-Man and Doc Ock from the new thing. So then at 11, they're going to be playing a game of Legion. Pagani and Plumber are going to be playing Legion. Now, I don't think they're going to be playing like a full, or a Grand Army kind of game. I don't think it's going to really take them all the way until 4. So I think, if anything, they'll probably be playing a skirmish game and play for about an hour or something to that extent. I don't really expect it to go that long, but maybe it will. What I think is a little more likely is that if they have something new to announce, like game number 2, it goes in Friday. Friday at like 2 p.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Pacific or something like that, or 3 p.m. Pacific. And then they're like, all right, guys, we're going to talk about the Rancors that are in all the games now. Rancors in space, right? Rancors with laser blasters and lightsaber nunchucks. The Rancor Jedi. Was there ever a Rancor Jedi? I don't know. Or whatever. So that's what I'm just saying code. So yeah, I kind of hope... I like what AMG has done with Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I would love to see what they do with a whole new game. I don't know what's going on with that, or maybe the new game was kind of shelved when the Star Wars games came over. No idea. But if we do find out something, I think it's gonna get inserted into Friday's schedule. That's why I have the red over there. We go a little bit later to 5:30 p.m., which is gonna be 8:30 p.m., which is literally this time now on Friday. Because it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here. And that's going to be another painting stream where they're going to be painting vehicles. And I have a feeling that this will be one to watch because, again, it seems like it's not really a content day, not really a release day, so there might be something that they reveal here. So we'll kind of go live at 8. We'll talk for about a half an hour before everything goes live. And then we'll talk, and then we'll jump into the stream once they get started with it. So yeah, and again, we'll be paying attention. I think Friday has a lot of what's next for Marvel Crisis Protocol. So I think that's going to be kind of a big deal for them because they are, obviously they're really big fans of Marvel Crisis Protocol. So yeah. Let's move to Saturday. Saturday's got a lot of stuff, right? Saturday, they're starting off the day at 9 a.m. Pacific or noon our Eastern Standard Time with new directions in Star Wars Legion. I don't know what new directions is, but my guess is some type of Legion kill team Star Wars Crisis Protocol. Saying, hey, you know what? Since Luke is gone was fired, right? So we fired all the FFG people, and we're doing it now. We're going to do what we know, and that's Crisis Protocol. But we're so all the rest of, my guess is maybe they'll say something like, we're instead of doing more core and special forces and stuff like that, we're just going to focus on doing heroes for the next year or two for Legion, and then coming up with hero only modes and kind of like the Star Wars Crisis Protocol and kind of a smaller kind of hero-centric game. That's my guess, right? We'll see. Or it may not, or it may just be very vague, and they just kind of talk about their different design philosophies, and I think it'll. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong about that. So then we're gonna go into some Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff. Then we're gonna go to another painting stream, but this one they're painting droids. I'll probably cover this one unless I'm just completely swamped by this time, because it sounds to me like this is kind of code for something else. Why would you be painting droids right now? And just why would you be painting Maul? Or because I think it's a different kind of Maul, right? So maybe there's a new type of, maybe there's a new droid. Maybe there's a new kind of droid that's coming up and they're going to be painting something new. So I have a feeling while it says it's a painting stream, I think it's going to give, we might see something else. Interesting thing about this is these both say Dallas Kemp is doing them. So is he doing 2 painting streams back to back? That seems a little different, right? That seems a little strange, but who knows? And then, of course, the final one that I'm planning to cover right now, and of course these could all be changed because I could throw something else in there if they say, hey, by the way, this future Marvel Crisis Protocol is all, that late stream is all going to be about how we mix Marvel Crisis Protocol with Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek and Dragon Ball Z and Ninja Turtles and Thundercats, and they all combined, and I'm going to be all over that like Mumra was all over the Sword of Omens anytime he could, which was rare. I think it was basically these are the streams that we're gonna have on Saturday, noon, 2:30, and 6:30. So I'll be streaming a half an hour prior to all of these, give you time to get joined up, and of course, if you miss anything, you can always rewind and do all of that good stuff. And that's going to do it for Saturday. Now, during these 3 days, I won't have like my standard morning videos that automatically go live each time. I'm just going to, focus on the streams themselves, and then there'll be some content for afterwards. I'll probably do a summary video on Sunday at some point, and then we'll kind of go from there. And and then we'll kind of just resume the normal schedule of stuff. I know I do have some things kind of in the queue. There's some more Drop Fleet Commander content coming up for next week, and then we'll be moving forward after that. I've got plenty of more Legion, X-Wing, and Armada videos to be working on for you guys, and that's it. So we also had story mode for MCP. Being MCP. Maybe they'll get some story mode. We'll take some questions here in a minute, and then we're going to talk about the new droids, for Legion. So the spiders, man, we got some cool previews for these things today. We did get some cool previews. So yeah, a lot of people think Scum faction. Looking at chat right now. But bring on the secret new game. Let's see. You think they'll get stuff designed out before doing a story mode for Legion? I don't know. I don't really. I could see them doing some kind of like a campaign or something like that, but I don't know. I don't know exactly. They haven't done anything like that for Marvel Crisis Protocol, so maybe that's just not something that they want to do. I have my suspicions that they're not going to do any kind of campaign for either of these games. That they just want to focus on really minis first and then gameplay second. Which does mean that we might see more dynamic poses in the future. Like a year or two from now, when we start getting, AMG specifically designed stuff, we might see Maul doing cartwheels and stuff like that, and alternate art versions of all these characters, which could be pretty cool. All right, let's talk about the DSD-1 Spider Droid. Okay, so this is one of those things that when they showed us the unit card, we're just like, okay, well, it can self-destruct. So it made a lot of people think, oh, are we also getting the Viper droids or probe droids, which we absolutely might. Or if we're getting a Mandalorian wave, are we getting IG-11 since he had the self-destruct also? Really great observation there, and maybe that'd be super cool. Love to see something like that. But we've got this guy, and we got some different gun options they showed us for him today. He's got some pretty cool weapons available. He's got the nose-mounted flamethrower, which has got 2 dice and spray. So I love spray. Spray is, all fire-based weapons seem to have spray, and when you got 2 dice in a spray attack, that's really nice. Your dewbacks have it, your ATRT has your spray gun, your snowtroopers have your smaller spray gun, but it's nice. It's fixed front and blast, like you would expect from a flame-mounted weapon, range 1 only, so you're not going to be able to hit any snow speeders or anything like that. But it's only 15 points. It's not terrible for and it's already a fairly cheap unit. So this is not a terrible option for this thing. You also have the nose-mounted ion blaster. Now this one's a lot of dice for this little platform. You know, it's got 3 black and 3 white. It's range 2 to 4, so you can get it out pretty far. It has ion 1 and impact 2, and cycle and fixed front. So cycle is nice because it is an exhaustible weapon. It's only 10 points, but you're not going to be able to fire every turn. So this one is pretty good if you want to. I think both of these are good options if you want to move in, get close, and prepare to self-destruct. Like if you want these guys, I think both of these are great options. If you especially if you're running 2 of them, say run 1 of each, have them move up together, have this guy like stop and shoot, and then move the next turn while it's cycling. Range 2 minimum, yeah. Well, the idea is that you do this, and then you move into range 1 when this is exhausted, and then you do your self-destruct, right? Like, I think that's roughly the way that I can imagine playing it right now, you know? Phoenix Games says 3x flame spiders with 2x magma maul melee tactical droids. Yeah, you could really have a up close and personal type of list here. And I think that's one of the things that's going to make the super tactical droid helpful too, if you have to ignore those AI orders. But these guys are going to have some particulars about how they handle AI, like with attack protocols here. And of course, and you have the nose-mounted laser cannon, which it seems like it's the best weapon. I think overall, it's same price as the flamethrower, but this one's just 5 dice. They're all good, right? Well, they're mostly all good. Range 1 to 3, it's fixed front, critical 1, and it's not bad. It's 15 points. It's a little on the expensive side, but it's a good. I mean, like 5 dice is generally a pretty good amount. Now, we get our first protocol, or our first programming card, and that's attack protocols. It is vehicle only, so this one will theoretically be able to go on both the snail tank and on, of course, your droids and any future type of scum stuff that happens to have the programming, because this is a cool new type of upgrade. It's kind of unfortunate that we haven't had this all along, though. Maybe Viper droids will have stuff like this. Yeah, who knows? Is that the second range 4 ion cannon besides Bistan? I'm not sure what range the rebel troopers, or the fleet troopers. No, theirs isn't ion. It's the rebel troopers that have the ion gun. I think that's only range 3. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure exactly, because I don't have all the weapons out in front of me right now, and I sometimes get some of the impact weapons that came with our early core guys a little bit mixed up. But yeah, I don't believe that like Death Troopers have any ion options or Imperial Special Forces. A lot of the Special Forces come without ion options, and Pathfinders definitely did. Bistan is also an exhaust, so. And he got a buff recently because he's 2 health now too. So it's, but he's an exhaust and he's not a cycle exhaust, right? So this having cycle means you can get to fire it again for free, and it's a big dice pool. It's not bad. Landspeeder has a 1 to 4 ion gun. That's a very good observation. Thank you, Fisher. Great observation from the chat. We got a hopping chat channel tonight. What's going on, everybody? You guys are giving some great back and forth, and it's time for Mini Crab. Go, Mini Crab! What's going on? Right, get out of here, Mini Crab. Go. All right. Anyway, that's enough of Mini Crab. He's the newest addition to the channel. So, what can I say? He's Mini Crab. But, all right, so let's talk about the attack protocols. This is only 3 points. And, of course, he must take one of these programmings, right? So that's one of the things that the Spider Droid has, is he's got to take something. So attack protocols is the only one that we've seen the full card text for. So this is really cool. AI aim is, how many times have you wished you had AI aim? How many times? I love it. I love that it's so cool. It's so cool. So, and you gain precise too. So it makes that aim really good. So like all of a sudden now your AI isn't necessarily a bad thing. You know, it would potentially be a bad thing for these two options. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. You might not be in range of the flamethrower, which means you're stuck aiming and then moving, presumably. So aiming and moving is bad. And then your nose-mounted ion blaster, hey, aim and shoot, that's great. What are you going to do next turn? Aim and recover? Certainly not. You know, aim and move again. So with either of these two options, you're going to find yourself probably at least 2 times a game having to aim and move. And that's going to be a real bummer. Real bummer. So you don't want to have to aim and move. Now this guy is going to have ranged shots a lot of times. And maybe that first turn, maybe the first turn is when you give him the face-up order, right? Maybe that's when you make sure he's got it. But once he's got shots, let him go. You don't need to give him the order. He knows what to do. He's going to be aiming. He's going to be shooting and rolling 5 dice. 4 re-rolls, man. 4 re-rolls. That's crazy good. I love that. And so it makes me wonder what the other protocols are going to be. Because this one has a cost of 3. Which makes me think they're not all going to... I don't think they're all going to cost 3. Because if they all cost the same, then wouldn't they have just increased the cost of the units by 3, right? It makes me think that some of the protocols are a little better. So you might see a little bit of variation in the points. There might even be one that's free. I don't know. How big do you think the crab will be? You mean the spider droid, as much as I want to... Or do you mean the future things, the big long-legged things? I'm not sure. I think this is going to be about the same base as a park. I think that's a reasonable guess. I think it'll be kind of like on an ATRT size base or something to that effect. Yeah. Fixed front. The enemy can move out of the arc. That's true, but the front, I mean, you know, it's not that hard to stay in you know, to keep somebody in fixed front. I mean, you kind of know where... It'd be a little problematic if you are stuck getting really, really close. But like with something like this nose-mounted laser cannon, I don't think is a problem. Because you don't want to get into range 1 of people here. You kind of want to keep them in range 2 and 3. And that arc gets really, really big when you take a look at like it's range 2 and 3 versus its range 1 section. Its range 2 and 3 section is huge. And it's not that hard to keep. And you only need 1 mini in the arc to be able to make the shot, right? So... yeah, if they aim and there's no targets, absolutely. That becomes a problem. And if that happens, then maybe that's when you do the self-destruct. Maybe you do the aim and then you do the self-destruct. You know, because maybe if they're that close to you, if they manage to get out of arc, that'll be the case. Now, you still might find yourself in a position where you aim and can't do anything. But maybe, that could always be a good thing too, because maybe you made them go in a direction that you didn't want them to go anyway. Like, so you can just point them here and be like, okay, I got this area covered. So if you come in there, I'm going to have a really nice attack with critical 1 and 4 re-rolls. So it's going to be a really solid, beautiful attack for only, 55 points normally? So you're looking at 73 points. It's not a very expensive unit. So, look, I'm going to have this thing, this nasty attack ready to cover this. This is kind of like almost like a turret for them at that point. And if I aim and do nothing, because he can aim and standby, right? He can aim and standby. So maybe I aim and standby and then I cover it. And if I don't end up shooting, well, no problem. That means you didn't come into this area. Maybe I wanted to keep you out anyway. So if you start from a corner and you're marching towards, yeah, absolutely. Just keep them in front of you. It's not that hard to keep people in front of you at range 3. So I think this is going to be a fun expansion. I can't wait to see what the other ones do. The other protocols, the other programming upgrades. I believe they're programming upgrades, right? But yeah, no, they're going to be pretty fun. I think it'll be fun. I like the nose-mounted laser cannon the best out of these. But depending on what the other ones are, if you got an AI move, then these ones could be real nice. They could be real nice. Both of these are going to have more positionally requirement type of weapons, you know, so and when this guy's on cycle, you may want to take that time to move. The nose-mounted flamethrower definitely wants to move to try and get into range. So, you know, I'm hoping one of them has AI move, and, you know, I hope none of them have AI dodge, because I hate AI dodge. I definitely do. It'd be interesting. Wouldn't it be interesting if there was an AI standby? Right? Wouldn't that be wild? Because then, like, you couldn't move or attack afterwards because you'd lose it. So it'd be like, yeah, standby, and then what, aim, right, or something like that. I don't think they'll have an AI standby. That just sounds too weird. But yeah, so you know, look, Spider Droid looks good. We got a lot of stuff coming up. I think we're gonna see the Spider Droid in action when they play that game, when they do their game on Saturday. So we'll see. Maybe they'll be using the new hunting season global event rules. You know, I also think it would be really nice if they were to play X-Wing or Armada too, like the two games that they seem like they're not really going like too enthusiastically forward with, you know. But I think right now they're just focusing on Legion first. Hey, let's learn this game, and then maybe next year we'll see more X-Wing and Armada content. It'd be pretty interesting. All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap things up for me, everybody. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I know this was kind of a surprise live stream, but I had all this stuff I wanted to talk about. There won't be a video tomorrow morning, but we are going to be covering the opening ceremonies for Ministravaganza again at noon Eastern. Well, 11:30. I'll be starting before the stream starts. Is this a Legion event? It's all three games. There's actually it's for Armada, X-Wing, and Legion. So there's going to be different. It's just like last time they did a Ministravaganza. There's going to be something on their website that is going to outline. It's basically going to have something to do with how you list build. So there'll be some new changes to list building. So if you did just get here, basically I'll run through everything one more time. We've got a big hunting season event starting tomorrow for Ministravaganza. It's going to cover X-Wing, Armada, and Legion. They'll post more tomorrow morning. And they're going to want you to play games with this new criteria and get them to them like same day, which is going to be, same weekend, which is just going to be really hard for a lot of people when this starts on a Thursday and when people have to work both Thursday and Friday, and you have to have them in by Saturday. So, I mean, good luck getting games in with this new rule set. Probably will just be some kind of rule set that you can use in the future for like side events and narrative events, things like that. I'm going to be putting on my Discord the three, or basically the events each day that I'm going to be covering: opening ceremonies, the Legion panel, the X-Wing panel, Friday the other two, Boots on the Ground and Rolling Thunder, and then on Saturday, any methods necessary, Roger, Roger, and Star Wars Legion Painting Mall, plus anything else that happens to get said. And of course, we talked about the new cards for the Spider Droid, the Flamethrower, the Ion Blaster, which both look really fun if you can move around and get into the positions and be able to take advantage of what you need, and hopefully you don't have to worry about AI. But if you do, we've got some attack protocols which look really, really cool. It'll give you that AI aim, which is the first time we've seen that, and also the nose-mounted laser cannon, which looks like a good kind of all-comers type of gun that should work in probably the widest variety of lists. I think it's going to be a really good weapon, and I think that's about everything. So that's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you all tomorrow morning-ish, depending on where you are, or afternoon, depending on where you are. But I'll be going live around 11:30 Eastern. I'll be posting the schedule on Discord, and there's going to be giveaways running for the entire event, so stay tuned for that as well. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing. If you want to find out more information, check those links in the description below, and make sure not to drink too much, especially when you're skydiving.